is going on, everybody? Let's hopefully my camera stays freaking working. We're gonna see how this
Let's hope it
goes.
doesn't.
Let's hope it doesn't. Hello.
Wait. I like looking at me. I mean, come on.
We know.
Somebody has to.
No.
That's 1 out of 1.
Hey, we don't need anything from the trailer park boy over there. You just sit in your closet and enjoy
You
life.
invite me on this thing.
Oh, anybody do anything exciting this weekend? I decided to try and prove that I was 18 years old and drink entirely too much on Saturday nights.
That sounds normal.
Oh, you said Saturday. I thought that was a normal Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, it was nice. I mean, like Elizabeth slept in till 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow.
She got up, had a cup of coffee, and was like, "Nope, I'm out." Back to bed.
That's amazing.
There goes the
There it
camera.
goes. There it goes.
Not this weekend, but last weekend. When my youngest daughter was still here, we did 4 escape rooms in 2 days.
Holy hell!
Wow.
Yeah, we did 6 the entire time she was here for the 2 weeks.
Wow.
We did 4 in back-to-back days, which was awesome. We had so
Yeah,
much fun.
I've never done them.
Yeah,
I've
I've never
thought about
done
it.
a single one. So
Yeah,
Allison's
it's
getting
all
it.
about strategy and puzzles, and I mean, there's so many weird. There was, to give you an idea, like an escape room, there was 3 rooms.
Mhm.
2 of the rooms had all 3 rooms had bathroom mirrors.
Mhm.
On the mirror in 2 of the rooms, the word breath was on them, but in the middle one, there was no word breath. So I did put my breath on the mirror, and the code to one of the
The
locks
mirror melted.
was under the mirror after it melted.
Mirror broke.
Like, it was the coolest thing in the planet. I'm like, how the hell do you figure that shit out?
This motherfucker did the Herman Munster. He just looked at it and the whole mirror cracked.
I got out.
Were you able to get out of all 6 of them?
I've done 31 now, and I've never not escaped.
Wow.
Because they all have like a
Never.
clock, a timer on them, right?
Yeah, there's a clock on a TV. Sometimes you get 3 hints, sometimes you get 4 hints. It just depends on the place. And we also did our very first 30-minute escape. So everything else has been an hour. So now we're trying to find more challenging ones to see if we can't push it. Because the last one we got out with 17 minutes to go.
Oh, wow.
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 And the record was 31 minutes to go in a 1 hour.
Oh, geez.
So I'm like, I thought for sure we were close to getting like breaking the top 10. And yeah, we weren't in the top 100.
Yeah,
So-
like,
How much think Allison has done any?
I have no idea.
Here, we'll pull her on stage and we'll ask her real quick.
Yeah.
Good morning, Allison.
Hey, good morning.
Hey.
Peyton at least is in a closet. I'm stuck in the truck. The travel trailer's behind me. Everyone is sleeping. I'm in the truck.
I thought it was a fake background.
Nope. Sitting in the front seat of the truck trying to get any good lighting at all.
Hey, it's pretty cool that we have 3 trailer park people in SCN. I mean, people in RVs that travel the country.
Is that it? Do we only
You
have
wish!
3?
That I know of.
You're part of this club.
Someday.
We gotta get those numbers up.
So, but
We'll run those up.
the idea of pulling a travel trailer and then a horse trailer for all the animals just doesn't seem feasible. So we haven't done it yet.
Baby goats would not be happy with you.
Right,
No.
400 pounds of Great Pyrenees, and then 7 other dogs. Yeah, no, it's not gonna work.
Not gonna happen.
But no, I don't do escape rooms. That stuff makes me literally panic. Like, I don't do anything like that at all.
Oh my god, so much fun.
I actually really want to do it just to see and experience what it's like. I never. I don't like haunted houses at all because the monkeys from Wizard of Oz still scare me.
They still have the haunted houses or psycho themed escape rooms and stuff, but like I've done one that was Wizard of Oz. I've done one that was
nope.
Beverly
I'd
Hills
punch a
90210.
monkey. I'd punch a monkey.
We should all go into the same one individually and see who gets out the fastest.
No, thank you. I'm out. I will judge from the outside.
I can't even watch intense movies like that. I get upset if I'm watching a movie where people are experiencing things like this. No way.
Yeah.
So is there a way to include paintball guns? Like you got to
Now
escape.
now I'm
You
more
can do it.
interested, right? If
You
it's
can do what you want.
I'm doing
right?
it.
You might get a lifetime ban, but you can still do it.
I mean, that's true of just about anything. You can do whatever the fuck you want as long as you're willing to deal with the consequences.
100%.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Bye, Bernie. Not words.
That's your education moment this morning.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? I mean, it'll be fine.
Oh, that's how you
Nice.
get into trouble.
Oh Lord! All right, Peyton, let's play a game.
All right. Come on, there it is. All right, real or fake podcast.
Wait, hang on. Where did you get that design from? Like the Brady Bunch or
Dude.
what is the Partridge Family? That's it looks like right.
It feels very retro. It, feels
It looks like
very
the
retro.
Partridge Family.
Peyton just wants to be an old soul.
I've reused this. I've used this design before, and nobody commented on it, so I just grabbed the
Well, I
same.
just did. It's
slides
probably the
and
week
edited
I
them.
wasn't here.
Wow.
Maybe. Fuck, I don't know.
Wow.
But real or fake? I'm gonna show y'all the title of a podcast and then give you a quick description, and y'all are gonna guess if it's real or a fake podcast.
Oh.
Cool.
Okay.
Dirtman.
Real.
Real.
That's real.
Yeah, real.
Fake. I made that one up.
Oh,
Literally
So
somebody
convinced,
Man, Peyton 1, panel 0.
right?
we were all so fucking confident.
I might have a chance at this game.
Dude, I'm gonna have to
go.
freaking hold on. There's got to be that out there.
I know. I was so
Real
trying
I
to.
was just gonna say,
Man,
somebody Google it.
Verify
I've
Peyton's
only-
work.
I was looking on Spotify for podcasts, and I didn't see Dirtman. Nope.
There's an
Still not
artist
there,
called
but you
Dirtman, but it's not a podcast. That sucks.
Well, somebody should start
Well,
the
somebody
Dirtman
out there,
podcast.
please start. the
Because
Dirt
obviously it's
podcast.
exciting.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you all kinds of
The
startups
Pen
for
Addict
podcasts.
about pen. You know what? I think this is real. There's a lot of
Pen Addict.
enthusiasts out there.
I'm gonna go with real because I agree, but now I feel less.
Yeah,
sure.
now I'm like gun shy.
I'm gonna go against the grain and say fake.
I'm going real.
Allison, what are you saying?
Oh, I'm going real.
That
Real?
girl.
All right, this one's real. Yeah,
Hey!
Ah.
almost
Ah,
5
fuck off,
stars,
Bernie.
92 reviews.
Do we let Donnie and Bernie pick first now because they're still 0?
Yeah, we'll let them go first.
Just go opposite what they say.
Yeah. It says the analog tools they love so dearly.
Aw.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who shat,
shat
on,
on
the
my
floor?
floor?
No, that better not be real.
Okay, okay.
Who would come up
Hey.
with that?
I really want this one to
Wait.
be real.
Please be
Are we
real.
supposed to answer the question or just say yes
No,
or no?
no.
Well, do you have an answer? I would love to hear it. So
Oh,
Bernie says real. Donnie said
I'm saying real because I want it to be real.
Keith,
Come on. It's got to be fake. That's fake.
Stevie,
Fake.
Allison,
I hope it's fake. I hope.
Yeah.
and the podcast is real.
No.
Oh,
And other crimes, it says, and other crimes.
and
for-
other.
It's
I
like
want to
wedding
know what the
crimes.
other crimes are.
So this is
I
just a
need to go
podcast about
on
wedding
like-
disasters. Just horrible wedding experience.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. It's let me
Mm.
find it again real quick.
Who shat on my floor?
You know what? That's going to get your attention. If you're scrolling through podcasts, that comes up, I'm stopping.
Right.
Absolutely,
Right.
it will.
Good marketing for sure.
Especially because I want to know what the other, like, what's worse than that? Why is it a crime?
Hiring an unqualified detective to figure out who shat on the floor at their
An
wedding.
award-winning
Oh,
podcast
no.
involving 2 brides, 1 turd, and an unqualified detective.
Wow.
All an attempt
Oh
to
wait,
find
then
out
there's
who
season
done it.
2.
Yeah.
It says "Pooh done it" on it.
No.
Who done it? Oh wow.
That's good.
Ooh.
Dude. Next, aliens
Wow.
ain't shit. Discuss aliens portrayed in movies in depth. Real or
God,
fake?
there's
Oh,
so
I can
many.
totally see people doing this. That's gotta be.
I know there.
Yeah.
There's so many alien enthusiasts out there. This has to be real.
Right. Right.
I feel like it
I
definitely
made it
could
up.
be real.
King is like, what the fuck did I walk into?
Look it up, Donnie. Look it up, Donnie. I guarantee it's on
Hey,
there.
apparently you need to be a
Aliens,
podcast strategist and start pitching these to people because
That's
Yeah.
not a bad idea. I
Yeah.
can
King
make
of-
up all
King-
that's a
kinds
side
of stuff.
hustle right
Did
there.
you guys see King?
It
King
is
is
it is
comment.
not a podcast, but it is 100% a song.
It's a song.
Oh, that's how he
Aliens
got
ain't
it.
Shit.
That's
Look.
why, like, if I-
Aliens ain't shit. I could probably beat them up. If an alien came at me, no, I would not give a fuck. That's because aliens don't know karate.
Sing it for
That is the
us.
lyrics of the song.
said aliens don't know karate,
Amazing.
and I was like, yeah, aliens ain't shit is a great name
Bernie,
for
drop him a beat.
podcast.
He's gonna lay it down.
Wow.
Where there's a will, there's a wake. Celebrities planning their funerals.
funerals. I was good until the celebrities plan their funerals.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's
Donnie,
real
quit
anyway.
Googling.
I'm gonna go with real.
I was putting the link to the Aliens Ain't Shit song.
I see now.
Adding that to the playlist for later.
Yeah,
All of a sudden, this guy's gonna get like 30 extra views.
He's
like,
already
"Oh,
got 127,000 subscribers,
Wow.
Yeah.
You were just fine.
What?
and this thing's got almost 19,000 views to it.
I know. I'm
Uh,
thinking we might be like boosting other people's podcasts by doing this, but we'll see. I don't. I don't.
That's
think we have
fine.
that much.
I'm going with real.
I'm going with real.
Real.
Say fake.
Real.
Real.
Boom.
Yeah.
If you
I'm
could
just gonna
plan your
do
perfect
exactly the
death,
opposite of
what
what Bernie does.
Who gets your
Plan your
prized
perfect
possession?
death. What would you do?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Who gets
They're
your
morbid
prized
people.
possessions? It's hilarious.
It's morbid. That's morbid.
Right. I'm with you, Allison. That's morbid.
It's just no.
Some people are into it, I guess, but not me. I'm
Okay,
not
she's
gonna watch
this is backed up by Sony.
Wow.
Yeah, that's big time.
it. All right,
Wow.
next. Radio,
Radio.
rental.
Real life
Real.
horrors.
Yeah. Horror stories podcast.
I don't know if I like the I don't
Hey.
like the title.
I hate the title. Fake.
Yeah.
Fake.
Yeah.
Radio rental fake.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fake.
Fakes.
Say fake.
Okay. It's real.
Oh wow.
What
Yeah.
a dumb
I
name.
feel bad now.
I
for saying
agree. And because it had a dumb name and it didn't match up, I was like, oh, yeah, that's going on the slides. They're not going to figure that one out.
it.
They're going to think I made that one up. 'cause it
Title
sucks.
ever.
Yeah, right?
They-
Radio
I don't-
rental.
Oh,
I
it's
don't-
a so it's a like series like a murderer who killed it type podcast style. Wow.
Oh, okay. 80s rental store run by
Yeah.
an eccentric shopkeeper.
Yep.
Okay. So it's a story. Like the
Yeah.
whole podcast.
Stupid.
is next
That's
Dumb.
why. Okay.
Yeah.
They probably just would have got in trouble if they called it Blockbuster.
Little
Legs,
legs,
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot about
Little legs, big foot.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
Shouldn't there be a space between the G and the F to make it look better? Like little legs.
Well, it's about
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Bigfoot's one name. I had to Google that actually.
First of all, Bigfoot's not.
I think
cryptid.
okay, I'm
Bigfoot's
going
real.
fake because Peyton's doing too much work to try and defend it.
I was going,
I don't know. Cryptic creatures are pretty.
Again, if this is fake, Peyton, you need to start being a podcast strategist
I didn't,
to do
Yes.
these because this is
Okay.
clever. I'm gonna say fake, but should be real.
I'm gonna
okay.
go with
Okay.
real. I'm gonna go with real. Why
It's
not?
real. It's
I
real.
think it's real.
It's real.
Fake.
Oh,
Ah,
Peyton
Y'all are
sucks.
catching on. Y'all gotta pay
Okay,
attention.
I'll try and figure
Alright.
out a funny name for a podcast that I'm interested in making because I'm not just gonna make one that I don't like. You know, I gotta find one that I like.
No, you
We're
sell
gonna
it.
rename the.
Sell it.
Just
We're gonna
sell it.
we're gonna rename the segment of this show to Allison knows all of it.
I didn't know
Allison
people
knows
sold
best.
podcasts, but I guess
What
they-
would Allison do?
There you go. I'm strategist, y'all. This is what I do.
we call it
Now
WAD.
listen,
I started business.
Welcome to WAD. What would Allison do?
yeah.
Wow.
I'm not sure you want to be known as the person that could understand Peyton's cryptic mind.
Very- that's very-
Fair.
Wow.
Fair.
Rule number
Rule
4.
34 podcast.
True.
Podcast
True.
about
real
Real.
I
things.
bet true.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say real.
All right, that's
Yeah.
pretty unanimous. That's
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
I really
What
want
is-
to know what
what
Rule
is-
34 is.
What is Rule 34 is?
You gotta ask
It has
Becky
not
and
been
Patience.
approved by the FDA. Consume at
Oh,
your
wow.
own risk. Okay, I gotta go watch this one.
I have not watched any of
34.
it. 2.3 stars though, so I was like, oh.
I just want to know what Rule 34 is.
They probably don't tell you. That's what keeps you
Be
coming back.
careful what you
Oh, never
click
mind.
on.
Never mind. It says right there, it's Kama Sutra Show and Tell. I don't.
Yeah.
give a shit.
Yeah, I say be very careful when you Google Rule 34 podcast what you click on.
Yeah, yeah, that's dangerous.
Somebody
Research it
said
at
should
your
have
own
said
risk.
Kama Sutra way before I clicked on things.
Donnie's
Donnie
getting
was
really
disappointed.
interesting ads. In his
I'll be
feed
back here in
today.
about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Donnie's watching porn
disappointed
during
with the
work. What the
goats.
fuck? Somebody tell his boss.
He's fired.
He's fired.
Dewey Matcha, a dating podcast, the length.
Real. It should be real.
Matcha.
People would love that.
Dewey Matcha.
The
Like
length of a
speed
cup of
dating on a
tea.
podcast?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
genius.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna say that's real.
It's like
Hot
a
on
blind
steroids.
date type thing.
Look, if it's not real, Peyton, you should do it. Create
So-
it.
It's real.
All of them are. That's how y'all are gonna bail yourselves out of being incorrect. Is saying if I'm wrong, then Peyton should do it.
It's
And-
real.
It's fake.
Wow. See, I think
I
that's
made
a
it
really good
I was
idea,
gonna say
though.
that is really cute. It's cute.
You're very creative, Peyton. Who knew
Thanks,
you have
guys.
this ability?
It's not. This was not the plan. This is not what I wanted. I wanted to laugh at you guys. I did not want to be berated with compliments. This makes me uncomfortable.
Backfired.
next,
He's like,
moving
he's
on.
like, but thank you. Keep them coming. Thank you. Thank you.
no, I don't like compliments.
Watercolors.
Going, please stop.
I'm saying this one's true.
Yeah, I would say true.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Okay, it's true.
real.
This one's real.
Yeah.
We've got 170 episodes, and they're
That's
like almost 5 stars.
Wow.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, I think it was started because Watercolors was the name of their aquarium at where they're
Grand
at. So
Rapids,
it was really
Michigan.
cool.
Very neat.
Oh, it's in Michigan. I'm out.
House of
House of
R,
R.
taking deep dives into every fantasy
Yes,
universe.
that's a real.
What
Except,
is what is
why
what
do you
is
have
R?
Harry Potter on House of R?
It's House of R.
But it's Lord of the Rings down bottom, and you got Harry Potter up there.
Yeah, it's deep dives into every fantasy universe, Donnie. It's not just Lord of the Rings. It's okay. You'll read at some point, but you don't have to.
I got. There's a little. There was a little tension there for a minute.
God.
Did you guys feel that tension there for a minute?
Yeah.
There was a lot happening. But I mean, it's real, right?
Real. It's got to be real.
You fuck
Sure
with his
is.
Harry
I'm
Potter.
saying
and he's
yes.
gonna kick your ass. Good
Right?
morning, Marlo.
It's real. And
The
it says
Ringer.
from Game of Thrones to Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and then it says to Harry Potter and talks about all of them.
But Donnie doesn't believe that Harry Potter is fantasy. That's the problem.
He thinks that's
Oh.
real.
Right,
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
right.
it should not be included with
Oh,
other fantasy
Lord.
universes. Because he's still waiting on his
4.9
letter.
2.8.
Morning,
thousand.
Marlo. So, all right, let's kick it on. Let's roll
Sure
that
thing.
beautiful bean footage.
This is Allison Simmons, a business manager and strategic implementer for Allison Lee OBM. Alice started her company in July 2023, where she specializes in helping online business coaches streamline their operations. Her big business goal is to hit 6 figures by the end of 2024. And now, it's her turn in the hot seat with the Success Champions team.
How cool is that? So, calling in live from the cab of her truck. Welcome, Allison.
Until the battery on my laptop runs out, and then I have to go inside and plug in and wake everyone up. But we'll do it as long as we can.
Wow, too awesome. Well, Allison, really quick, introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and what is the biggest question we can help you this week to blow your business up?
All right. Well, I'm Allison Simmons. I always introduce myself as an Italian Enneagram from Jersey, which means I talk loud, I talk fast, and I always talk with my hands. And it kind of is like my personal disclaimer. So everybody who meets me knows what they're getting into before we start the conversation. It's just easier that way. I started my business technically July of last year was when I became an LLC and decided to go down the business management road. Coming off of being a VA, but I discovered my biggest challenge being an OBM was that everyone just thought I was an overpriced VA. And so I have spent the last, 6 or 7 months really trying to figure out my messaging so that I was not considered a virtual assistant who was just asking for too much money, and really have people embrace what it is that I do, which is help them take back control of their insane businesses so that they can sustain and then scale them. And that's where the business manager and strategy implementer title came from. And the burning question I have is because what actually ironically happened is that when I got right with my messaging and started talking to the right people, my business started growing rapidly, and which is exciting. But I'm also a one-to-one service provider. I do have a VA, but I'm a little bit nervous about things getting, I don't want to say too big too quick, but I want to continue to grow. And I'm like, well, I don't want this to blow up in my face. I don't want to become one of those burnout service providers that devotes her entire life to growing a business that she ends up hating. So what I just want red flags. Like, hey, when this starts happening, that's a red flag. Check yourself. Try this instead. Go in this direction. Basically, what are y'all's biggest business mistakes that you can teach me that I can avoid so I can sustain and continue to scale?
We don't have enough time on the show.
Right, like, 100%. That's
well, Donnie already revealed a bunch on Thursday and made me cry. So let's avoid that today, Donnie. If you would mind.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes, no.
For sure.
But,
Well, the one thing that and just going to dive quickly in, that I know for a fact that if there's so much business starting to come in, you're priced too low. Right? Because anytime that business keeps coming, you're worried about capacity. It's because it's too easy for people to say yes to you, which means you need to continue to raise your price until that pace slows down. Right. It's the number one thing everybody screws up from pricing especially when they first start out, is they think, gosh, I need to price this because this is what I could afford if I were trying to do this. And so they put the pricing out there. Then at some point, if they're doing really good and they're delivering results, they start getting a lot of business. From like, what the fuck do I do? Well, you raise your pricing across the board.
even with current clients.
Yep.
How did you do that? Do tell, because like I've been with one of my clients now. We've been together almost 2 years. I was they were my very first VA. Like I was their VA.
Just remember, your clients want you to succeed as much as you want to succeed, right? Odds are that client knows how much they're underpaying you, right? So you need to go have a frank conversation and say, hey, 2 years in, I'm really starting to figure this out. The business is really growing. Things are really starting to take off. I'm getting more and more people approach me to take my time, and I have to raise my prices. I do not want to do this with you, but I'd love to keep you as a client. But so we have to figure out what is, that next tier, and even if you only shift them incrementally up, right, you raise the rest of your prices up. You have to 10-20% them, if not more.
Well, and that's kind of what I did. If you'll recall, I think told you a while back, Bernie knows this. I fired a client. It was a mutual, but it was that exact thing. I basically said, we're at this level where I need to up my prices. And he was like, nope. And that was the end of it. And it was a mutual, it was an okay separation, but I was like, oh, that would hurt the wallet.
What I love about that, though, is that tells you how much that client valued you. Right? If they're not willing to come with you, then they don't value the work you're doing for them enough to justify the increase in cost.
Okay. Oh, that hurts. Not gonna lie.
That's all right.
I mean, we could sugarcoat it. Jump in, Stevie.
Well, I was just gonna say, so when I had to raise my prices, so one of my goals is always 70-30. I want 70% of people to say yes and 30% of people to say no. That's my own like statistic that works for me. So when I was raising my prices to get there, because I was at about like 90% people saying yes, and I was getting overwhelmed. What I did is I upped all my like outgoing prices, right? All new clients, all those prices got upped by a good amount.
Mhm.
And then my current clients, I told them I would stair step them there over time.
Okay.
So, right. So instead of taking my current clients from, oh, it's 1,000, now all of a sudden it's 2,500. I told them, look, 2,500 is what I'm charging new people. So we have to get there, but I'll do that over time. And so I gave them because they were paying me quarterly, every quarter it went up a little bit more over time. And within about a year, I had all of them all at the same pricing. But that way my current clients got a little bit of a time to adjust to new pricing. So that's definitely something you can do. And as Donnie said, just have the frank conversation. Like, this is what I'm charging new clients. This is what it costs for my time now. And I appreciate you and I value you, but I need to make sure this is supporting my family. Right. So how do we get you there? And again, I had a couple clients leave because of it. But again, if that just means that they don't value you enough to pay what other people are paying you. So great. They wouldn't have said yes to you now anyway. So
that's true too. I think you just hit the nail right on the head. They wouldn't have said yes if they were new clients. And I have to separate the personal relationship side from the business side of it, which is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine this client you've had for almost 2 years is paying the same rate for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah. Then it's not going to be good.
Allison, and this is a great question. I'm actually following along quite closely because I'm going through the exact same thing in my business, right? I've constantly been giving new clients a price increase for the last 3 years. I up the price. I keep upping it until I hit a spot where it's not comfortable. And then I know I can stay there. And my profit margins have extremely increased over that time. But I still have my first clients that I onboarded 3 years ago that are at rail thin margins. And I'm trying to figure out, how do I go back to one of my largest, best, and first clients and tell them, right, hey, right? So what I did is I went back and said, you guys have not had a price increase in 3 years. And I said, I've got to increase pricing on a majority of the products that you guys are using from us. And I said, what percentage are you guys comfortable with me moving up to? And they came back and said, if you want to do it, if you need to do like a 15% increase, we're okay with that. So I did. Right. And I'm hoping I can do that conversation again in 18 months or something and do it one more time.
You know, and somebody put in the comments, inflation. I love that. I mean, part of the conversation is literally where you're going, you know, when's the last time you bought groceries?
Yeah.
Right. It's a real conversation. You know, a cart of groceries is through the freaking roof. You know, so if that's the case, then, you know, they understand that they can't stay where they are. You know, they're hurting financially too in some regards, but inflation's a real thing. Yeah. Go ahead, Steve.
I was just going to say, and the other thing is, once you do it this time, then set yourself a time every year that your prices go up every year. Because my prices go up every year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're in demand.
Yeah.
But I love you. But no, I mean, my prices go up every year. Like he said, until we get to like an uncomfortable place where everybody starts turning me down, then I drop it back. But even for those years where I didn't raise it because I thought people were going to say no, the next year I raised it. And I always do mine at the end of the year. I always do a calendar year change. I always offer my current clients the ability to stay at current year pricing for an additional 6 months if they pay in advance.
No.
I get an income boost in December, which is my worst month of the year for me. Yeah. So I get an income boost because they're prepaying for the next 6 months. And it lets them know prices will go up so they can plan on it. Right. And so once you do this once, I encourage you to set up a standard for yourself of when you're going to raise prices on a regular basis.
Yeah, I like that.
Inflation happens. Everybody knows it. It's not a secret. It's not something we have to hide. So there's no reason you should be charging the same thing now that you charged 5 years ago. Because we are not in that world.
And I'm a huge fan of managing people's expectations. That takes care of that problem right there.
Yeah,
it does. I love that. Ooh, okay.
And yeah, and all my clients know. So now I actually have 2 clients who always send me an email in November that say, okay, can we go ahead and prepay? Because they know in December they're going to get the offer to prepay for next year. And they just come in November and ask me. I'm like,
Is one of those clients Donnie?
Yeah. I prepaid for the next 10 years. We're good.
Yeah. Donnie and I have a long-term contract. They're stepping him to where he needs to be.
Right.
Nice.
Right. The other thing I want you to think about too is if capacity is starting to become a thing, what is the operational structure of your company? Like, do you have an operations meeting each week where you go through each one of your clients and break down what's going to be? And so I find often the solopreneurs don't do this. They're created a job for themselves and not trying to work towards a solopreneur company. And in a company, you have sales meetings, you have operational meetings and the likes. And even as a solopreneur, you need to be holding those type of meetings where you are legitimately going through each client and making sure this is done. This is where we're at. These are the upcoming projects and the likes. And you got to think about, if you're a business manager, that's what they're paying you to do in the first place.
Yes. And that is happening. What I'm struggling with, and I've tossed around different ideas. Initially, I was like, oh, I totally want to have an agency model where I want to have all the in-house. I want to have an in-house VA, an in-house video editor, an in-house social media manager. And then people can come to me who don't have teams. And I'm like, I got the team. You hire me. I talk to you. I go back to my team. But even in that, having my VA do some VA work for some of my clients, and this is a control issue, and I get that, is ironic. I will have her do my podcast, my graphics, my social media all day long, but I'm so hesitant to put my client work to her because I'm afraid, that's client facing. It's not just my reputation to the unknown, right? It's my reputation to my client.
So I'm going to challenge you right now, because her managing all your stuff is your reputation to the unknown.
Yeah.
Like, you putting out a podcast for you putting out that graphic, you putting out that content
If
is
she's
all
good enough for you. Why wouldn't she be good enough for your clients?
Well, it's not that she's not good enough.
Did you hear her voice go up?
Yeah.
Did you hear her voice go up?
We got the Dino.
There's just something about it. Okay, so, and this is just my first client, right, who's still with me. I've literally built their brand. I am their voice. We joke that I talk them better than they talk them. I sound more like them than they do. I do all of their freaking content. And I'm like, I can't teach her that. It's easy for her to teach
Why
her
not?
me.
Yeah, Allison,
Hello.
all of these
Why
issues
not?
can be taken care of in about a 2-hour therapy session.
I've had
down and talk about
you
control.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
So
Listen, you're not gonna be able to scale your company until your mindset changes a little bit, right? Because you're gonna have to employ people at some point to bring on more customers and stuff like that. If you can't do it now with the first person that you trust to do your stuff, you're gonna have a very hard time scaling later.
Bernie, I'm actually curious. You've got teams that manage all these online videos and the LMSs and whatnot. How did you get them to perform at the level you needed to perform to manage all that stuff, especially with the level of clientele you're dealing with?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's because it's all project work. I always find the person who is the exact right fit for that client, for that project, for that circumstance. So when I go over expectations with them and I know that they have all of the skill sets, all of the experience, everything that they need to do, I mean, honestly, I can kind of step back and be hands off, other than to come in and course correct ever so slightly. But it's finding the right person for that exact project every single time.
And I think that's interesting because Bernie really does the broker model where he doesn't have just one set team.
Right.
He has all these people all over the country, and he reaches out to them when they're the perfect fit for a client. Versus what a lot of us think of doing, which is creating a team who can handle every client.
Yeah.
Bernie does it the other way. And so I actually think it's interesting to think about both those options, because until I met Bernie, I wouldn't have ever thought of that option personally. But there is something to be said of, if you only hire people for the job and the client, they fit, versus hiring somebody then expecting them to be a good fit for every client. That's just two very different mentalities. And obviously it works both ways, but I do think it's interesting to think about it differently.
So Bernie, talk more about this, because I find this, my curiosity is okay, so what if somebody needs lead gen and I know a great lead gen person? you don't just refer them to, like, you're like, no, you still pay me, and then I will bring that lead gen person who has their own business in.
Yeah.
How
Exactly right.
how do you make a profit then if they're charging their premium
You
rate?
upcharge what their prices are.
Either you work out some type of a deal where they give you the discount before you pass it on to the client, right? But either way, you're adding your margin on top of it, whatever that is for you. You know, for me, typically it's going to be about a 25% margin, no matter what the service is, no matter who the resource is. I just stack it right on top of whatever it is that they're charging me.
So, okay, I'm going to keep asking though. So let's just say let's say my retainer rate is $2,500 a month, right? I'm your business manager for $2,500 a month, but you need, you want to grow a Pinterest account. And so I go out and I find a Pinterest specialist, right?
Mhm.
But now I've hired that Pinterest specialist, but I'm already charging you $2,500 a month. So I can't then add a 25% fee on that. Like,
That's a whole brand new service. Why wouldn't you?
Mhm. Right.
Yeah,
And again, a
So you
fractional
have
model
your
is
baseline
different.
services, and then you have your add-ons.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
hadn't thought about that. I just
Yeah, for 20, for
yeah,
2,500 a month, you do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
I do this for 2,500.
Anything outside of that is considered a la carte.
Yeah.
That's right.
Then we're
Yeah.
adding.
Office manager doesn't mean you're also building Pinterest boards,
Right.
No.
Right.
right? So
Yes,
you
in
needed
my
to.
mind, I always think it's like we sit down, I lay out their project. I'm like, okay, for the next 3 months, these are the things you want to accomplish. Here's how we're going to do it. Maybe that's got marketing. Maybe that's got email. Maybe that's got like whatever, building a website, right? All the things. And then we complete that project over 3 months. I don't have like standard business management services right now. Everything is custom.
Well, when
And that's going to keep you from growing
100%.
because as long as if you can't standardize, you can't hire.
Right.
Right. So in addition to that, what you got to think about is what did you actually sell? Right. So if you're selling, websites and all of this stuff, that is the scope of work, whatever you originally agreed to. Right. And so anything that's added on outside that initial scope of work has to be an additional price fee to it. There's always nice shit we do for people. Right. Every one of us has things that will do a favor, small things here and there. But if it's like a whole different thing, like going from a website to now you're building out Pinterest, right?
Mhm.
That's a project itself,
Yes.
right? That's a whole additional service. And you need to be courageous enough to have that conversation about the scope of work.
Mhm.
Right.
So, Bernie, I have a question for you actually real quick. If a client came to you and they wanted you to do something, you didn't have somebody that you knew that could do that. You didn't want to do it. What would you do?
I would go out and find that person.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, when you're talking about learning and development, there are so many different disciplines, right? There's facilitators, instructional designers, blah, 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 all of those people out there. I'll go out and find the best one that I can find and take them to the client and say, hey, this is the absolute best person for the project that you're looking to do. I know what their rate is. I, again, just add my margin on top of it. And here's your resource.
Well, and I will say, as somebody who would be somebody Bernie would call, how great is that for me? I didn't have to do any work. I don't have to do any sales. He knows what my price is. He deals with that whole conversation. I just show up and do what I'm good at.
Yeah.
But let me play devil's advocate though.
Like working with Bernie is because
Let me
he
play
does that.
Let me play devil's advocate, right? If I wanted your services, Stevie,
Yeah.
why wouldn't I just say, hey, Stevie, cut Bernie out, cut me a better deal?
Yeah. Well, I think most of the time they don't, most of the time the clients don't know me I'm presented as part of Bernie.
All
I'm
right,
not
that's a good
presented as
point.
something separately. And then Bernie and I have a contract that says I'm not going to do that. Right. And if I do that, then he'll just not use me again. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Right?
I can see smoke coming out of Allison's ears, and I think her and I have the same questions, right?
Yeah.
So I always want to learn the
No,
pitfalls
I mean,
of
it's
what I'm
definitely
getting
one of those.
myself
I mean,
into.
I would assume, Bernie, when you present it, you don't present it with my business title and all my things. You just present it as me as a name,
Exactly.
as a facilitator under your company.
That's exactly right. Yep.
So,
And then there's
So it looks like you work for me.
Yep. And then there's contractor agreements, right? There's
Yeah.
non-competes and all that type of stuff behind the scenes. But at the end of the day, when I present Stevie as the resource for whatever that project is, Stevie works for me.
And that's all worked out up front too, right? So
Exactly.
where you have this acknowledgement of, hey, I'm going to bring you business. Here's what needs to happen when we do this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I do that for several. I have several people that book me business that when I go to work for them, I present myself as a part of their company.
I freaking love this. This is blowing my mind because this it solves the problem because I don't want to be an agency owner. I like what I do. I don't want to do all the other things, but I also don't want to have the whole team. So like Bernie, like we're totally gonna VC later because like I'm picking your brain, dude. This is brilliant because I already have in my mind. I'm literally like my head is like, oh, that person does this and that. Like I already have the people.
You already know
I
them.
already have the team. They all just have their own businesses. But
And something else to think about, Allison, as you continue to build your brand, your company, and the likes, the one thing that everybody sucks at is new clients. If you become the person that can bring in the new clients, you're gold.
Yeah.
Right.
You're light years ahead of everybody else.
Absolutely. Because there's so many entrepreneurs who have that's the part of the business that they suck at.
Yeah.
Right. Like doing the work, they're great at the work. But the sales, the new clients, the prospecting, that's not what they're good at. So if they find people like you who will send them business and they don't have to do that, they're going to be loyal to you.
They will be
Right.
your best
That
friends.
helps them.
And if it's somebody that I work with and they like, I have a Pinterest person, right? And if I work with her on 3 different clients because she's doing Pinterest for everybody, it just makes it that much easier.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Then overall, you become more project management than doing.
Yes.
I love her face.
I love it. This is so good.
All right, Allison, I got a question for you. I got to go all the way back to the beginning because I made a couple of notes and I don't know the VA world, I guess. What does OBM stand for? Because
Exactly.
I've got something terrible in my mind. Like
not
outside.
OBGYN, Keith.
No, OBM. What is OBM?
Okay, so OBM is an online business manager. Now, for whatever freaking reason, when you say to somebody in the solar entrepreneur world or in the small business world, at least in the world that I've been in, when you say OBM, people think, oh, she used to be a VA but doesn't want to be anymore. So she just called herself an OBM and tripled her rates. Like that's the mentality. And to a certain extent, they're not wrong. Like that's literally what happened. That being said, it's because the value I was bringing to my clients was way more than $20 an hour worth of value. But I was in a VA agency. And so I was locked in at that rate and there was not a damn thing I could do about it. And so I broke away from the agency and said, okay, I'm going to be an online business manager. And then Donnie, I don't know how much you remember about the very first time I talked to you, but I brought this up to you, my frustration, and you were like, drop the online part. Just call yourself a business manager.
Yep.
And it's shocking because I did that. And then I tagged on strategy implementer because people will be like, oh, well, you're a business manager, so you don't do anything, right? Like managers don't really do anything, right? And then I was like, well, I'm a strategy implementer. So I do stuff, but it's like, we're thought partners. We're on the same level. I'm not your employee. Like you didn't hire me to schedule your social media. Right. So that's how that all came about.
And I still like
Perfect.
business manager. I think that's the coolest description for all the things that you do. And I really like the idea of you manage means you don't do anything. You manage. So you're managing the teams, you're managing the people. You know, they're bringing the projects, you're taking care of everything else. You know,
Well, if I go down this Bernie route, I think we just hit some gold here. I feel like,
Bernie's been on this show for 2 years now, and that's
it
the first time
finally
I've heard
said
that.
something. Yeah.
I mean, I wish I could claim the fractional model as being my own, Allison, but that's really all it is. It's just bringing in the right resource for the right projects and making it make sense financially speaking for you and for your client.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, that's the other thing. And this has been a mindset thing. But it's getting to the point where I'm getting in front of the people that number one, value the service I provide, but also two, can afford it.
Yep.
And I talked about this with you guys when I very first joined SCN. I've been fishing in a pond full of guppies for a really long time because that's where I'm comfortable because I was a guppy for a really long time. Yeah. But now I need to find salmon, right? I need to find the next level. And that was part of why I joined SCN because I was like, y'all are the next level, right? Mm-hmm. And John Huffman, I know you're watching. He wants to be a piranha. Fine. Him with his mohawk, he can be a piranha. And then Robin is a dolphin. Robin Powers.
Well, John's more like a bass, like an ass. So it works.
But anyway, all that being said, I've had to, as I up level my business and my messaging, I've had to up level the people that I'm talking to because guppies don't need which is one of the
Love
reasons they were all like, you're just an overpaid VA. Well, because they need VAs. They don't need a business manager, right? And so I had to start talking to different people.
Mm-hmm.
You should start a podcast called The Evolution of a VA, right? And how you went from being a VA to being a business manager to being a fractional COO or whatever, wherever it goes.
I technically
Right.
have a podcast. Technically.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's the Take Action podcast. And it's all about taking the next step in your business.
You should start talking about your personal journey and how you went from A to wherever you're at now, M, right? Because you're not there yet.
A
You're not the Z. A to M. Well, she's like halfway right there.
If you need a podcast strategist, apparently I'm good at it.
At least the names. At
Wait,
least
hang
the
on.
names.
He's
I
going to
just-
call who shat on Allison's podcast.
It'll
Who
get your
shout out my
attention,
business
won't it?
manager?
You'll listen to that every day. You'll listen. To
Oh
that
my
podcast.
gosh.
Oh my god.
Wow. That just
Oh,
happened.
Oh, wow.
That'll be season 3 because season 2 is rolling out right now. It's already been pre-recorded, all the interviews. So maybe that'll be season 3. My next steps.
There you go.
I'll get out.
Julie, I don't think your answer is going to be very popular with Stevie. I don't think she wants anybody else to go fishing for
fucking
sharks.
Oh, well, I think she needs to talk to people who are sharks. Fishing kind of implies that we're going to kill them. I don't like that part.
Stevie
I'm
Stevie
telling
wants
you,
to
shark
pet all the
tastes great.
sharks.
But if Allison wants to start swimming with sharks, that's something she can work on.
I have swim with stingrays. I've
There
never
you go.
but I've been with
Same
stingrays.
idea. Stingrays are a version of shark. I mean,
That's like kind of like Keith's M. You're not all the way to Z. You're halfway M. I don't know what the fuck he was trying to do with that. But you're A to M.
I was
What?
getting halfway through the
I got it.
I don't know what halfway
understood
is.
it. I
I'm,
understand.
I'm glad Allison understood it. It took me a minute. I was like, what? I was going with the M of like business manager and the A from VA.
No, here's the deal. Yo, I'm gonna turn off my camera and go in my RV and set up because my battery is quickly dying and I have got my husband left for work so I can get in the bedroom.
As soon as you do that, we're going to start talking about you. So go ahead.
Well, I'm not turning it. I'm gonna listen. I'm just turning off the camera, so be careful.
We'll do it. We'll do it right to your face. We don't care.
Yeah, that's
Please hold.
interesting.
This is a cool conversation because a lot of people struggle right here. You know,
No,
It's
I
a
think
great
it's-
It's a conversation we haven't had before either. So this is
No,
great.
it's new. Well, and I think it's so important, right? Because scaling, right? Growing a business and scaling, everybody thinks there's only one way,
yes.
right? Like hire people, hire people, hire people. And the truth is that's not the only way to
Well, the
scale.
online
I mean,
world we live in,
I
right?
scaled by putting things online and doing less. That's what I did, right?
It's all about everything in the morning. Look at that actually makes sense. From A to M, everything in the morning. Right?
Oh, look at you.
That's a stretch. That's a
I
stretch.
No,
But I
I'm gonna
really
say
think
no to that one.
it's
I'm
interesting.
gonna say no to that
I'm
one.
going to keep saying my point. But I really think it's interesting that there are different ways to scale a business. And I don't think we talk about it enough. So I'm glad we had this conversation.
Well, and I agree because I tend to be kind of a black and white. Hey, this is how you should do things, and there need to be more people talking differently than how I always put things out there. So it's always healthy, and it's always healthy if Bernie just says something. So I mean, you know,
Occasionally, yeah.
Oh, Bernie, when you open your mouth, man, some great things have happened. So this proves it right here. Julie just said she needs to talk to you. You got a lot of value to bring, especially with you being the king of outsourcing.
Yeah.
And being able to do all this stuff. So
Thank you for that. And I think one thing we need to cover really quickly here, Keith, is, I mentioned that when I go from my upstairs bedroom to my office downstairs, right, it takes me about 30 to 45 seconds. I really don't have time to watch a podcast. What was the name of the podcast you suggested?
the only
It's
thing I
now
can do in 30 seconds.
I found something for y'all on the
Oh,
same
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
brainwave.
Okay.
The 30-second podcast. Oh,
Wow.
There
Wow.
you go. It's already a thing, Keith. You can't make the 30-second podcast.
I don't
anymore.
understand. What does he do in 30 seconds?
I have no idea. I have no
I
idea.
would
I
have
just
to
found
listen
it.
because I'm like, there's a sponsor, a topic, and something
well,
else.
he still can
Damn
have
it.
a 30-second podcast. It's just called From A to M.
Well, I put off the camera for 1 minute and you derail. Like you get off the
Totally.
we're back into Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Y'all need a manager.
Yes.
And my
Apparently,
dad.
who manages you people? Because apparently,
Yes.
You don't have a manager, obviously.
Hey, listen,
The
I
guy
got
up
a new
there.
rate I'm charging that y'all can, if you want to talk.
Hey, put up Julie's comment. It was so nice about Bernie.
No, this one isn't. But
Julie, the answer is more than likely yes, but probably longer.
Julie, you show up every week to our meeting. We talk gold every week.
Oh,
It's true.
no.
It is
That's
true.
so awesome. That's so awesome. So, wow. Holy hell.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Allison, as we went through all this craziness and fun stuff, this was actually a really fun conversation. So, thank you for that. What are some of the highlights, some of the takeaways? What are you going to take and implement from here?
I mean, so many, so freaking many. For one, I love the idea of the standard. I'm going to start raising the rates on a yearly basis. I mean, I've only had 1 year, but I think coming up in July, it's a great time to be like, hey, everybody, 1 year in, here's the new rate, whatever, starting in August. I'm loving that. The idea of creating an outsourcing team rather than feeling like I have to have this. I mean, like, this is blowing my mind. I'm so excited. I've already started listing people in my head that I'm going to be doing this with, like all the things. So I think those are the biggest ones, is going back and having conversations with current clients, and just being like, hey, this is where we're at, and I'll give you until the end of the year. I mean, I feel like it's really hard. It's really hard to go back to my original client and be like, hey, here's the deal. You've got 30 days. But I feel like if I give them till the end of the year, like that's fair. Because that would be a big price jump for them. Huge price jump. But those are the two things that I'm like, okay, these are things I can implement quickly, very quickly.
Good.
Bernie, how much do you have like a QC process for all your people that you're outsourcing the fractional work to?
So when I send one of my resources out to the client, they are effectively managed by the client. So I don't really have a whole lot to do with the QC process. For me, it's really all about bringing in the right person from go that's going to match the client that they're working with and the project that they're doing. After that,
that scares me more than anything, because now I've just turned the client over to them. Yeah. So
I know one of the other firms that I work with, they do my first time out with the client under their name, they actually sent somebody with me. Right. So I had like a follower kind of thing, somebody who actually just watched me do the work, watched me facilitate, and reported back. And that was the first time I went out. And then every client fills out a feedback form after my session for them. Yeah. So they're receiving feedback from the client on how I did. So the first time they did it, they were there to see it live and in person. And then now that I've been with this firm for 2 years, now the client sends a feedback form to them, and then they send it to me afterwards and let me know what the client said.
awesome.
But I have had a client that did not like my style. I was not a good fit when they sent me out there. And so that feedback was given and I wasn't sent to them again. And that's okay. Right. But I think the client was still happy with the work because the work still got done. I was just not their favorite facilitator.
I mean,
That's funny.
To be honest, Stevie, the first time I heard you speak, you scared me.
Yeah. Well, truth hurts, Keith.
That backfired on him. He was trying to give like heartfelt feedback. Keith, go back to 8 a.m. You'll be fine.
Oh shit. That was terrible.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well,
Hey.
Blame that on you, Allison.
I would, Allison, last thing for me, I would get that contractor agreement solid, right? So there's a non-compete clause and things in there. I mean, I know there's non-competes.
I
You
love how
got a
you
lot
love
of things to
non-competes, Donnie.
You got a lot of things to catch up with Bernie on.
Yeah.
You do. You need some time with Bernie.
Yeah.
So bless your heart.
Hey, I will continue to say that and again, Donnie, I'll throw it back to you. You're the one that recommended I go to growth mode. That was the group, but like, we have the best freaking group. I can't even, I don't know. I haven't been to any others. So I'm like, I can't compare.
I'm going to be sick.
But I don't even want
We are
to
the best
know.
group. I know no other groups, but we are the best.
I found the right one. I'm happy. I don't want
There
to
you
believe.
go.
Like, it's so good. It's so good. I love it. I'm so glad I found it.
Too funny.
We are glad to have you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. It's been a lot of fun to get to know you. This was a hell of a conversation. Let's kick it over to upcoming events and whatnot, guys. Bernie, what do you got coming up?
So no events coming up right now. However, I mentioned this to you the other day, Donnie. July 18th, I'm going to be running my very first 12-week master class all around audience alchemy is what I'm calling it. But it's facilitating virtual training that doesn't suck is ultimately the goal of it. I want to help subject matter experts to be able to jump online on camera and deliver really engaging workshops. So that's launching July 18th.
Love that.
Nice.
Stevie, what do you got?
Our next play will open July 5th. All I really need to know, I learned in kindergarten. It's a musical. It's super fun. And I would love to have people come down to Mansfield and see it. So July 5th, we open fleetwoodproject.org.
For those of you in the DFW area, we'll let you know when Donnie and I decide to go.
We'll know what
If
day
we're
they're
going.
coming and we'll let everybody know so everybody can come.
And you guys can all come join us for a night out.
Yeah, that'd be
wonderful
fun.
Mansfield.
Oh, and there's a new barbecue place I want y'all to try out before. It's a super veteran friendly barbecue and hot dogs. It's amazing. And they've been super supportive of our theater.
Yeah,
and I think it would be a great like dinner before the show.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
gonna
in.
hook you guys up with that too.
Awesome. So, and then we've got, this is a fun post from today. We've got the Badass Business Summit coming up September 18th through the 20th. This is our LinkedIn panel. Kevin Turner actually built this. So,
It's funny. I still can't believe you got all four of these people to say yes.
oh, dude.
It's so cool.
Insane. So this is going to be really awesome. But
if you guys haven't seen the post yet, I would challenge you to go click on each one of their names and see how many followers they have. Follow them for their content. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's going to be an amazing summit this year. 5th year in.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Let's hear for the delayed random.
Wait.
Yay.
Hang on. That guy's been behind the scenes for almost 6 months. That's the first sound he's ever used.
First sound effect we ever get, and it's a lame yay.
Yeah.
Can we get like thunderous applause instead?
No, there was a point
you've
in
never
time where
used-
he started talking and I hit this one. That was a few months.
First one.
That goes back to Key's other podcast. Who shadowed my business manager? Fuck, tickled my camera again. Holy hell.
Oh my god.
Jeez, oh Pete.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
but yeah, guys, go get your tickets. VIP tickets are almost sold out for the Badass Business Summit. The hotel rooms are flying very, very off the wall really quickly. So make sure you get there. We're doing some really cool things at the after hours. We're going to do a lot of giveaways, prizes, events. You're going to want to stay at the hotel to get an opportunity to win some additional things and some badass networking.
I don't know if you guys noticed, I updated the spreadsheet, the hotel rooms and stuff. Almost 42% of the rooms are gone.
Oh wow.
Oh, badass.
So if you guys want a room, you're going to have to get on the website and book your room now so you don't lose out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very cool.
So, year 5 of the Badass Business Summit. How freaking crazy is that, man? Where's the fucking sound now, Peyton?
Wah, wah, wah.
Kid's got one job.
God, wow. He's got 3 sounds now.
Wow.
This is crazy.
I don't want to know what's happening there.
Let's move it along.
don't.
I
You
will
have no
press
money.
buttons if you want me to.
Yeah.
I'll start pressing all of them.
Well, I'm just saying, don't do that grunting sound with the toilet. Those two sounds should not go together.
And that's why I did it.
Oh my gosh.
So, guys, we're here every Monday hanging out. We're always putting one of the SCN members, Success Champion Networking members, in the hot seat, helping them out with their business. Come hang out with us. We love doing this. We're having a lot of fun. And today was by far the biggest audience we've had collectively across all of the.
Yeah, congratulations, Allison. That's all you.
Thanks.
Yep.
Big audience, great conversation, so many gold nuggets.
So, a lot of fun. So, we'll see you guys next Monday. And as always, love you, mean it. See you. Bye.